Hello friends, how are you? Today is 17th March 2020. That is the first round of candidates is in progress and we have three results as of now. One of the games is in progress, that is Anishgiri and Ian Nepominachi. So this video is going to be about first major upset of the candidates tournament. Wang Ho and Ding Liren for playing their first round today. Both are from China and both are competing to win the candidates. Wang Ho is currently rated 2762 while Ding Liren is rated 2805 and Ding Liren we have seen before he's a very strong grandmaster. He has beaten Carlson as well in one of his games and he is especially very strong from white. But in this round, Wang Ho who was playing from black has managed to defeat Ding Liren. And this video I am going to show how a positional weakness can be exploited by the grandmasters or even by you if you try to understand the positions, if you are trying to find the perfect weaknesses in your opponent's camp and attacking them precisely, the win is inevitable for you. So let's start with this video. This position was reached at move number 29. It was an English opening c4 e5. I am not completing the entire game, but I am just skipping to move number 29. You can download this game from the description link given below. But right now, we are jumping on to move number 29, where black has just played his rook to d7. And you can see on the left hand side, this is the stockfish evaluating the position. Currently, it shows 57.57, that is a plus 0.57, which says that white is slightly better. But if you look at the positions, there are few weaknesses in white's position. That is, the pawn on a4 is something that black can try to attack if he puts his rook successfully on d4 and this bishop is not there on the board, then from rook on d4 can attack this pawn on a4. There is this d3 weakness, and later on, the next move which white plays here creates more weaknesses in white's position. So Ding Liren right here was very ambitious and he played the move f4. f4 is not losing at, but somewhere there will be a slight advantage for black after this ef4 exchange. So let's see what happened in the game. So black captured the pawn on f4, and now if you see this evaluation, Stockfish clearly says that black is slightly better and minus 0.97. So whenever the evaluation that computer gives is negative, it means that it is slightly better for black, and when the evaluation is positive, it is better for white. So this is how you can understand what evaluation this engine is trying to tell you. So this is slightly better for black, but we are going to understand why this is better. Couple of moves more. Bishop takes f4, knight takes f4, G takes f4, and now f5 was played by black. So f5 was answered by e5, and now we have to evaluate this position. You can see here that Stockfish is showing it as 1.27 minus 1.27. Black is much better here. The reason is same. Now look at this a4 pawn. It is a backward pawn which is vulnerable to attack from this rook. Now this bishop is off the board. As I mentioned before, that bishop was the one who was guarding the d4 square. The bishop is not there anymore. So this a4 pawn is not vulnerable. d3 pawn is vulnerable. f4 pawn is something that again white has to take care of. And the bishop on c7 is going to be an excellent piece to attack this h4 pawn. So let's see how the game continued. So black continued rook e6, and the idea behind rook e6 is to shift this rook onto the g file on the g6 and from there put it on the g4, attack the weaknesses. So once you identify your opponent's weaknesses, you have to follow the concept of IMR, improve, maneuver and regroup. You have to improve the position of this rook by maneuvering it to e6, g6 and g4. Then you have to create a new group, that is regroup. Probably the bishop on d8 and the rook on g4 will be attacking this h pawn, and the rook on d4 and rook on g4 will be attacking this f4 pawn. So IMR is an important concept that you should remember: improve, maneuver and regroup. This game was a beautiful example how you can use the IMR technique and attack your opponent's weaknesses. So king f3 was played here, rook g6, n e3. This is trying to guard the g4 square using the knight. King e6 developing the king and blockading the pawn on e5, rook d1, bishop d8. Now here white plays rook a2. The idea is h4 pawn is right now hanging, and if bishop cross h4, then white can switch his rook to h2, and after the bishop is moved, he can capture the pawn on h5. So black first plays rook to d4, tying this rook up on defending this a4 pawn, and now white tries to play knight c2 attacking the rook, and now rook d5, knight e3 again, trying to repeat some moves, and rook d7. So after rook d7, even though the position is equal, white is in kind of a zugzwang because white cannot defend the h4 pawn. For example, if knight goes to g2, black can play rook to d4, and now any move is played. Next move, black can simply play rook to g4 and capture the h4 pawn on next move. So Ng2 was not possible to defend the h4 pawn. So white simply played rook d to d2, and now black captured the pawn on h4. White played rook g2, and this is clear winning for black. So rook g4, rook goes to h2, g6, knight takes g4, f takes g4, king e3, bishop e7, rook c2, h4, and these passers on G and H files are now unstoppable. Here, Ding Liren resigned and black won the game. So this was the first upset of the tournament. So if you liked the video, do hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Until the next video, bye bye and take care.